Come and learn the easiest way to make this dress. If you've been wanting to know how to go about the making of this viral TikTok dress, the easiest method, then this tutorial is for you. And this dress has so many amazing features like the boat neckline, we have the minimal reached shoulder, we have the soft gathers around the under bust, and that is so cute. And then we have the pleated bodice with basque waistline and a gathered skirt. So if you want to know how to go about this whole thing, then watch this video to the end. Now on my pattern paper, I have this line which will serve as a shoulder line, and from that line I'm going to measure down first to the bust point, then from shoulder to the under bust, from shoulder to the waist, and then what we have as the length of the paper will serve as the hip line. Once I'm done marking from shoulder to the bust point, from shoulder to the under bust, from shoulder to the waist, and from shoulder to the hip, I'll go ahead and label them bust point line, under bust line, waist line, and then the hip line. Now on the shoulder, the first thing I'm going to mark is my shoulder measurement divided by 2. Then from that point, I'm going to mark my desired sleeve length, which I'll be working with 5 inches. And then once I have that 5 inches, I'm now going to add the allowance for that soft pleat we have on the shoulder, that minimal pleat we have on the shoulder, yeah. And I'll be doing 3 inches for that. That in total is 8 inches as my sleeve length from my shoulder measurement divided by 2. Now measuring the whole thing I have here on the shoulder, it's about 15.2, which I will just make it 15.5 just so it's easier to work with it. Yeah. Once I'm done with that, the next thing I'm going to do is to just mark 3 inches here as my standard neck width, yeah, just to use that to slope the shoulder. Then I'll come down here to 1.5, and on that 1.5 I'll be marking my 15.5 again, just so I do not have any shortage of my measurements. Then I'm going to slope the shoulder this exact way. The next thing I'm going to do is to mark my actual neck width of 4.5. Then for the neck depth, I'm working with a neck depth of 3.5, which you can do just 3 inches. Do you understand? Then you're going to give it a round neckline shape, but it shouldn't be too curved so that it gives you that boat neck vibe. Now, what I have from the shoulder to the bust point line will serve as my sleeve opening, which is okay for me. But if you feel that that will not give you your desired sleeve opening, go down from the bust point line until you have your desired sleeve opening. Now, whatever it is I have on the shoulder, I'm going to minus 1 inch or 1.5 on this bust point line, and I did 1.5. That is what I have on the shoulder, that's 15.5 minus 1.5. I mark that on the bust point line, and you see how slanty it is connecting the two. Now, I'm going to take the bust measurement divided by 4 here on the bust point line. But if you have your under bust measurement, just go to the under bust line and take your under bust measurement divided by 4. Then you take your waist measurement divided by 4, then the hip measurement divided by 4. There is no dot here, so we are not replacing any dot anywhere. And then you connect the measurement and it's looking like this. The next thing now is to do the basque, and I'm doing a basque length of 7 inches on the center front to this way. You know, it's quite long, so 7 inches works from your waist. And then on the side, you're going down 2 inches from your waistline, or 1 inch or 1.5, depending on how much hip illusion you want to have at the end of the day. Now once that is done, the next thing you are going to do now is to add the allowance for the soft plate we have around your under bust. And to do that, you're going to measure the whole thing you have on your shoulder, yeah, and you're going to mark that exact thing on the under bust. So here is the 15.5 I have on the shoulder. Then I'm going to go in 4 inches from that point. Then measuring from that point to the side seam line, I have about 4.75, which is like 9.5 for that soft gathers we have around the under bust. And this is very okay because you know that is very minimal. It's not too much, so this is okay. But if you want more, just minus 2 inches or 3 inches from what you have on your shoulder, and then you mark it on your under bust. Then you're not going to curve it like this. Can you see the shape? You're going to have that exact thing. Now the next thing is to go up half inch or 1 inch from the under bust line, just like this here, depending on how curvy you want it. And I like that curve a lot. It's very realistic because it contours the body better like that. Then you're going to place your curve like this, and then you give it this shape this way. But if you want it to be more pronounced, you're going to come down from the under bust line to half inch or 1 inch, and then you place your curve like this again and take it to that 1 inch you went up from your under bust line, whichever one you choose to work with. But I'll just be leaving mine on the under bust line. Do you understand? Now the next thing we are going to do is you can decide to use the front pattern to get the back done if you know how to go about it. But in case you don't know, I'll be showing you how to do it. And the first thing we are doing is to mark out a space for the back using the same space we have for the front. Now, once that is done, the first thing we are going to do is to mark the shoulder measurement divided by 2 here on the shoulder line. Then I'm going to be adding my sleeve length of 5 inches, then the extra 3 inches for the pleats we have on the shoulder. Do you understand? In total, I have about 15.2, which I just made it 15 and a half, like we did on the front. Now, once that is done, I'm going to be marking 3 inches standard neck width and 4.5 actual neck width. Then I'll be coming down here to 1.5 for the shoulder slope and connect it to the standard neck width this way. The next thing we are going to do now is to make sure we have our 15.5 on that point, just so we do not have any shortage. And then we are going to come down here to about 3.5 for the back neck depth. And at this point, you are doing whatever it is you want as the back neckline. Do you understand? You can decide to make it V. But yeah, I'm going to measure from the shoulder to the bust point line. You will also be needing from your shoulder to your under bust, and then you need the shoulder to the waist and from shoulder to the hip. And that is why I said you can use the front to get the back if you know how to go about it. But if that will be a long process for you, just follow through what we are doing here now. Now, after that, I'm going to label them. Then what I'm going to do is to measure what I have here on the bust point line, which is just minusing 1.5 from what we have on the shoulder. Then I will mark it here. Now I'm going to connect it and you see that it's just as slanty as the one we have on the front. The next thing now is to take the bust measurement divided by 4 here on the bust point line. On the waistline, the waist measurement divided by 4. And then on the hip line, the hip measurement divided by 4. And then I'm going to use my ruler to connect the measurement out this way. And then the next thing you're going to do is to do the basque, and you can decide to just make it just as long as the front if you want to, or you do it very minimal. But on the side, you're coming down 2 inches since that is what we used on the front here. Then on the center back, you'll be adding 1 inch to that, or 2 inches depending on what you want to have here. Or better still, you just take that 2 inches straight. And then the next thing I'm going to do now is to measure to the under bust, from shoulder to the under bust, which I said you need that, yeah. And then once I have that, I'm going to use my ruler to just mark it out this way, and this is the under bust line. Next, you are going to mark that same value we have on the front pattern, yeah. If you have forgotten, just go back and measure your front pattern, then you're marking the exact same thing here on this under bust for the back. Do you understand? Once we are done, we are going to curve it out using our curve like this part of this curve. I'll just blend it in this way. And then the next thing we are going to do is to contour the center back. We'll be taking out the gaping, we'll be doing a gaping dart on this center back, and I'll be doing 1/2 inch upwards and 1/2 inch downwards, and give it a dart shape on both sides just like this. Now, the next thing we'll be doing now is to take out the excess. You know, if you have worked with dresses like this, you know that this part drops and it's ugly. I don't like it. So what I will do is to just come up here to 1.5 to eliminate that 1.5 on this point. Then you're going to take it to the center back. And what I usually do is to also take out 1/2 inch on the center back. That way, everything balances when you wear your dress. No gaping, no dropping. Everything just suits or sits well on the body. So now after doing that, now we are going to be cutting this out, and I'll be showing you the exact way to do this. First, we are going to be closing that gaping that we have on the waistline. Yeah, I'll trim out the excess paper here, then slash the one of the lines all through this way, apply this glue here, and once I'm done, I'm going to place the slashed one on the other line this way. And once I'm done with that, the next thing now is to remeasure the waistline, and in most cases it adds extra 0.25 to your waist measurement. And even if it doesn't add, just take out 0.25 on the center back this way, and then use that to blend the center back in all the way to the shoulder and all the way to the hip line. Then you're going to follow through this new contour line and take your desired zipper allowance, which for my case I'm using 1 inch, and then you're going to follow that same center back contour line and add that same zipper allowance all the way to the top this way. And then, like I said, you can decide to make your neckline a V neckline for the back. Yeah, just do whatever you want as your back neckline. Then you're going to be cutting this out, and I decided to make it a V neckline, like I'm sewing it. So yeah, you're going to cut it down, and it's looking like this. Yeah, then for this part, you see that it's already confusing. So what I recommend you do is immediately after cutting it out, notch the top part and the center back, and also go ahead and label, just so you also remember to transfer those notches and those labeling on your fabric when you do that. Then before we cut the front, we are going to take out this same 1.5, but this time we are taking it to that 1 inch we went up from the under bust on the center front. So after you're done doing that, you're going to cut it out, and you're cutting out the under bust cut out with the basque waistline out this way, and this one is not confusing. Every part of it is precise. So you're going to cut this other part out like this, just this exact way you see me do it. And trust me, after you try this pattern, you're going to come back to say thank you, because everything is going to sit well. Then for that minimal pleat we have on the shoulder, it's after joining the front and back shoulder that you're going to come into about 1 inch from the edge of the sleeve, yeah. And then you're going to, like, from the sleeve opening, you're going to come into 1 inch, then you're going to add pleat. Just add as much as your allowance could permit, or better still, just as much as you want your sleeve to sit on your arm. But that's after joining the two shoulders. That's when you're going to do that. Then for this one, let's talk about the gathered skirt. You're going to measure this basque, just the basque line like this, and I have about 9 inches, which is 18 inches by the time you cut this on fold, yeah. That's 18 inches. Then the back measuring, I have about 8.2, which is 16.5 when you cut the two sides of the back, yeah. So let's just say it's 18 inches for the front and 18 inches for the back, which is 36. So you're going to do 36 times 4 for that fullness. Or if your hip circumference is bigger, you're going to do your hip circumference times 3, just to give you that fullness. And then for the length, you're going to, my waist line is 16 plus this extra 2 inches waist extension, that is 18 inches in total. I'm going to minus 18 inches from my whole gown length, which is about 58, yeah. So 58 minus 18 would have about 14 inches left. So 40 inches will be the length for the skirt. Then the wideness is going to be 4 yards if I'm working with 36 times 4. Do you understand? Then for the basque, for the skirt, yeah, what you're going to use, instead of these 7 inches we use on this top part, you're going to do 5 inches instead of that. Or you do even 4.5, just so by the time you're done hemming and joining on the waistline, you is going to just balance and not looking like it's dropped. Then for the back, you're not taking out anything, just leave it like that because of your hip. Now for this pleated bodice here, what I recommend you do is to just make sure you cut out enough fabric that will give you this pleats, and make sure that the pleats are uniform. It's after pleating on the fabric that you take your lining, that is the one you cut out with the pattern we drafted for the top part. I don't know if you get. Just make sure that the pleats are uniform and it's a fold, it's folded, not like you're doing small gathers. Yeah, just make sure it's really folded, and then after that you're going to take the lining which you use this pattern to cut out. Let's just call it lining. You're cutting it on this pattern and you're adding your side seam, you're adding your allowance all around, you're cutting that on fold. Now you're going to spread it on this your gathered or on this pleated fabric. I don't know if you get. Make sure you have enough pleat to cover from top to down. That's how you're going to go about it, and it's going to come out well. And then if you want it straight, you're going to just place it straight like that. And then if you want it diagonal, just basically place your pattern, that lining, you're going to place it diagonally like this, and it's going to give you that diagonal plate. I feel like this is easier than slashing and spreading, because most people struggle with slash and spread. So you can just do it like this. Just make sure you have enough fabric to like cover the whole thing, both for the front and back. You're using the pattern we drafted for the top to cut out just as we drafted it. You're cutting the front on fold and then 2 pieces for the back. Then you just call that the lining. This pleated one now will be like the main fabric, and then the other one will be under, just to help keep this pleat in place. And you're repeating the same thing with this back pattern too, except you just want the back to be plain. But if you want both of them to be pleated bodies, just go ahead and go about it like that. And if you can, make sure that the pleats are aligning on the side seam, just so it looks like a continuous pleat. Just when someone is up close, that the person will notice that there's this side seam joining. Otherwise it will look like you just pleated both front and back the same way. So yeah, go ahead and add your allowance all around the patterns. For the center back, you're following this outline we have on the center back, just so after sewing, you know that this is what you have as your zipper allowance, and you just fix your zipper and the necklines comes out well. And all of this require from 4.5 and above, depending on your size and also your height, to make this dress. But yeah, that's pretty much about it. I hope you found this tutorial very helpful and very easy. If you do, let me know in the comments, and I'll be seeing you on my next one.